Happy Friday afternoon, everyone. I am John, aka Migrant P, aka lead developer at Handelabra Games, and we're going to do some development on Sentinels of Earth Prime today. This is our final dev stream for the Kickstarter campaign, and it's going to be going into developing some user interface stuff. Of course, Handelabra Games believes in civil rights for everyone and being as inclusive as possible. Anyone working against those goals is not welcome and will not be tolerated. So be excellent to one another and say hello in the chat if you are an excellent person. I think you're an excellent person. Yeah, the Kickstarter is going well. It is funded. We reached our first stretch goal, which is the Magical Mysteries pack. And the variant stretch goal is the next one at 30,000. I think we could do it. Oh, it just switched to hours. It was showing 3 days. And I guess it's like exactly this time of day that it is going to be finishing. So we are in the final 72 hours. So if we do the math here, how much do we need for the stretch goal? Like 30,000 minus 26. Oh, I lost the number. Move. 607. 3,300 divided by $25 a backer. 135 backers at the regular amount. I say we do it. Tell all your friends if you have not. Here is the link. Nightbot is not posting the link, so I'm going to post the link. Share it and share it widely. And yeah, variants would be great. And you never know. The last few days, things often heat up, and we might reach the ultimate challenge goal as well. And who knows what's next? We're always up for more. So, all right. So, what's this stream today about? Last time we showed, Jean-Marc last time showed some music, and previously, Campbell and I showed some programming at the engine level of the content of the cards, the rules of the cards. And Jennifer showed some environment backgrounds. Today, we're going to show how do we make Sentinels of Earth Prime look like this, right? We have the different interface and different cards and stuff like that. So obviously, that's not good. That's still very early in the process. I've been focusing more on the content of the cards because that is something we can test from within Sentinels of the Multiverse as well. But we'll get into it. So yeah, so here's the Unity project for Sentinels. It's the same project that we are going to build Earth Prime out of. We also build the Learn to Play version out of the same project. It's the same Unity project, but we can have different configurations and have a different output. So I've got it set right now to be building an Earth Prime or running an Earth Prime version here. And I haven't done a ton in the game view here, but we can see what we've got so far. Let me know how the audio levels are if you want. Lemmy Adams or anyone else. I got some background music going, that's all. So all I've done so far is really make the background white. And I'll show you how that's accomplished. So what I've done is so far created a component that I can add on to any other thing, like a sprite or a label or whatever, and I just called it a series customizer. I was thinking of making a separate version of this script for different types of things, but it's also just kind of convenient enough to not do that. So far, one component that just has a bunch of different properties that could be used for anything is fine. I don't see a need to split it up at this point. So right now, this is setting the color of the widget to white, and that's it. Other things are happening, like on these buttons. We're changing, I think, the button color of these, because normally you can see how they look like in Multiverse, and it's changing them to basically inverted colors. We're going to be using different actual sprites, but we don't have those in, and I have support for putting a different sprite in there as well. So let's just go through and change a few more things to look more like this mock-up that Jennifer made that looks pretty cool. So one thing we want is a different font on these. And actually I have just go to Trello board. for Earth Prime. And I have a bigger version here that I can have pulled up. So yeah, those buttons, I mean, they have the components on there. We're gonna obviously have some special sprites for them. We also have the white background. We've got that in there. We have different borders on the panels. So we might look at see if we can do something like that. We have the different turn and turn phase indicators at the top. We have different trashes and decks. They have a different style and some different font. Same thing, different fonts and icons on the character panels here. And we have different small cards. We haven't gotten small cards in the game yet. I can show you what we've got for full cards. The full cards are looking pretty good. If I run the game here, we've got a set of Earth Prime stuff going on. So the small cards still look like Sentinels right now, but for the full cards, you can see we got a nice card here, but these buttons are still sort of Sentinels of the Multiverse. We'll fix that. Regular hero cards and villain cards and so on as well. And villain character cards coming along. Yeah, we've got these status effects are looking multiverse-y as well, and this is actually a multiverse environment that should come up looking like a multiverse card. Yeah, so, and then we don't have the logos in here yet, but we're going to be getting those. And we want to get that cool border. Right now we don't have a border. I guess there's a black border you can see on these, but it's actually not black border, is it? There was only the, like, we just had the black background. We never actually had a border on the panels, did we? Turns out if it's a black background, you can just make it that seem to be the border. Yeah, the design that Jennifer came up with is pretty cool for this, so we iterated on it a bunch. So let's try at least making these, like, different. So one thing I haven't added support for is making the font change on these. So on the turn taker name, turn taker is a thing that takes a turn. So hero, villain, environment. We've got, it actually can change color because of La Capitane. It's kind of fun. The label, let's add a series customizer. We're gonna want the label. Oh yeah, we do have a way to change the font, don't we? Okay, so let's change it from red state, blue state to, I think that's Newsflash. She's got there, but it's like Newsflash with an outline. So we might have to like adjust that. Oh, but we did make an outline version of it, didn't we? Why is there it's interesting, there's a separate title armor piercing, I'm not sure why. EP card titles as the outline, so let's use that. The fonts are sort of a little bit in progress right now. So if we change that, and let's change it on the phase label as well. I guess I have to add that component. And I basically set this code up so that it doesn't do anything unless I like set things, basically. So if it's like, if these other things are blank, it's not going to try to do anything. For color, we have to like have a boolean that says you actually want to change it, because you can't have a null in the inspector. And color is a struct, so you can't even have a color question mark, though. That's the thing. A nullable color. All right, so we do have the font, but it's getting turned black. And I think that's because, do these labels have a black tint? They do. So we can change these to say set the color to white. And the default color I have on is white. Because it's the default color, if you let Unity have a default value, it sets it to black with 0 opacity, which is annoying. Generally, to have a default be invisible. All right, so there actually is a gradient on there that you can never see because it's always black. Well, I'm just going to turn off the gradient because there's no need for it. It's not doing anything. Never did. So now we should have the updated font. At least. Yeah, and the fonts look glitchy in here, but it's just something that happens in NGUI. Like, when we do a build, it actually looks good. So, yeah, we got Captain Thunder, play a card. Or end of turn, Omega, or whatever. That looks fine. Maybe we'll have a different font with different treatment or something like that. And we want, like, a different color for that. And that's probably going to be colored based on, like, hero turn or villain turn or whatever. So I'm just going to set, like, another color right now. But we'll just change the color to be, like, something different so we can tell that it's different. Like, nice salmon. And I have to click the set color button as well. And let's change this one to a nice, I don't know, purple. And that has to click set color. That's not going to be final, but at least we can sort of have an idea that it's getting changed, right? Cool. And the colors look kind of nice, actually. We're gonna have to handle like what happens when like La Capitane does her thing, so that's something to consider. I'm just gonna add a note to my Trello board here. I'm gonna try to move this into a new tab, and game view screen. We go like add turn taker / base. Sprites and color customization. Handle La Capitane stuff, which is that she temporarily goes to the environment turn during her own turn and stuff like that. The things that La Capitane can do. And then we have a skip button that is hidden, but it's actually part of the HUD, which is kind of interesting. But let's just save what we got here, because I think this is a decent moment for the bits there in the HUD. We updated the font and the colors, so it's noticeably different. These buttons are still not all there, but that's fine. One thing I noticed, yeah, menu panel style, okay, that's there. So let's commit this. Say update turn taker / okay. So the next sort of biggest thing for the look here is the borders of the panels, which they don't actually have borders right now. And we kind of want them to. So we want them to be like this style of like the top right and bottom left are curved in Earth Prime on all the boxes. But then if it's at the edge of the screen, I don't want that to happen. So we're probably gonna have like some different box shapes that we use for different things, and we can tint them different colors. Yeah, so how do these things work? So in Sentinels, we have this idea of different layouts on the screen. So there's different these layout objects that are the hero layout for 5 players, hero layout for 4, hero layout for 3 players, villain turn layout for the different number of players, environment turn layout. Then we have team versions for all those and Oblivion versions for all of those. So these just basically say where all the panels go on the screen for the different things. Why can't I? Let me move. And so here, this is saying the villain area is over here. The active hero area is over here. Inactive heroes are up here. Environment area is off to the top right, and so on. yeah, if I click this, you can see that the actual thingies show where everything is more better than the other lines, I guess. And so these don't actually have the content. Like if I close this, like nothing changes on the screen really, except I guess it changes, like that's where the cards are, but the rest of the stuff, like the characters and whatever, are not actually there. They're actually in this other thing called villain panels and hero panels. And these are this way because they're actually a panel that clips. So that's why we can like drag cards and they like get clipped and they don't draw into the other areas because they're getting clipped by that panel. And we can actually do texture mask on these instead to mask them to a shape, which is what we're going to want to do for this idea. So the thing though is that texture mask tends to be I'm wondering if we should, yeah, we definitely do want to mask it because we want the rounded corner to mask like the environment piece. And so if we change, I'm just in play mode here. So if we change villain, this thing to texture mask, and we actually have a mask for the cards that we can like borrow one here. You can see we can sort of do it. I wonder if problem is like this corner is like, this is a square texture, right? So it's getting stretched. And I don't know if these things do anything. Minus 200? This doesn't seem to do anything. What if I change the size? Size seems to be, yeah, size is anchored by this. Yeah, I haven't actually tried doing this, so this is gonna clip like by this texture, which is great because you can see it like it's gonna sort of doesn't look great because of the alpha or whatever, but like it is clipping based on that. Lenny Adams asks a question. Guys can also do the weird purple turn taker thing. I don't think so. I guess actually, if he on his in cap, completionist guys can let someone take a turn now. I think that's the thing. The layout's supposed to give the feel of comics. Yeah. I mean, I've seen comics that have layouts that are on white and have like interesting like design choices. And like if you look at Earth Prime rulebook and stuff like that, like that's the design choice that they've made. So we're working consistently with that. So yeah, if you take a look at the design of Earth Prime stuff, this is following in from that. So yeah, we could potentially go with like rounded corners on everything instead of half the corners, but this is the graphic design that you can see in this game. We can pull up the rulebook PDF for an example. Earth Prime PDFs. You can see that's how they've got their boxes here. And they've got other elements have a similar aspect to them. I think there's, yeah, these things here are from something as well. Yeah, these headers have this sort of slanty thing. Yeah, and again, there's our rounded corner boxes and stuff on the back page as well. So yeah, that's where we're going from here. It's not necessarily final, but it's an interesting direction, and we like it. So yeah, I think the tricky part with using a texture mask like this is that these panels are all going to be different sizes all the time. I wonder if I can update the UV rect of this somehow. Because like, if I can do that, then I can like control the aspect ratio of what the texture's doing. But yeah, these things are locked by the anchors. Might have to dig more into how to do this. Maybe it'll be something a little different than that. But that's the idea anyway. That we have a white border and we have our white background. It's still not a ton of white, so it's not like blowing out your eyes or anything. But and then those colored borders giving you a cue to villain, environment, hero as well. So maybe I'm not doing that today because I'm not sure how to get this to work right. We have a mask for the hero character cards and the villain character cards because they have different aspect ratios, so it just sort of like has different aspects. And so we would probably have like different versions for the different like this is the full box, and then this is like if it's on the bottom left, and this is if it's on the top right, bottom right, and so on. The top left, yeah, I guess there'd be a top left case, which is going to be like this one. But yeah, I'm not sure if we can set the UV rect of this. Now, it's not in the inspector anyway, so I think that's how we would want to do it to be able to clip things how we want. We can probably actually, we don't necessarily, yeah, we want the texture mask basically for the corner, but where things are, you're not going to actually drag stuff to the corner because the corner radius is going to be such that this doesn't really need to clip. So it could be something else, like we just draw, like instead of a texture mask, we just continue to do soft clip like we had before, but we could draw a border with the white also like over top. You know what I mean? So do we have a curve? I think we have the line, right? Let's just throw it in here. White line, Earth Prime. Alpha is transparency. That's not exactly what we want, but I'm going to throw it in there just to give an idea of what we could do. So we could do like create a sprite and put it up here and choose full card hero and choose the white line Earth Prime. Like obviously this is all mixed up, but like we could color this, you know, like whatever it needs to be, and make a sprite that's for the corner. Or actually, if it's a sliced sprite, we could make it for the whole thing. And so we'd put like a little like piece that's the white part, the corner on top, and then the colored border on top of that, and then that gets the effect we want, I think. So that could work. Is going to work better than the texture mask idea, I think. Because these don't need to necessarily mask arbitrarily. Let me make a note of that. That's going to be a bit more involved, I think. So for character panels, we want to, I guess actually we could make a checklist for a character panel. Because we're going to want to rounded corner plus border, sprites that we draw on top inside the panel. Not a mask. I think that's going to work and be probably more performant than a mask anyways. We also need icons for cards in hand, cards in play, and hit points. We need to update fonts for those things. Potentially change like how that looks, but it looks like Jennifer had the same thing, so that's fine. Yeah, I guess that's the main thing. So if I like hide the hero panel, yeah, what else we got? We have the discard pile. Discard pile, font, sprite, color based on deck type. Deck, font, sprite as well is different, and those are part of that. And there's also like the, yeah, if I hide that, that's interesting. That's, so it's just kind of different, like these because these panels move around. So when we move these panels around, we just like get rid of the cards. That's why they're not associated with the panel. But if I hide the hero area, yeah, so that highlight is part of the panel. We're probably going to want to change that. Play card highlight is going to be something more specific to fit in with the new look. And we're also going to want, I'm just going to add here to the hint panel, font and style, skip button. Basically, we don't want to see red state, blue state when we're playing Earth Prime, unless you have a multiverse card on the screen, is going to be what's going to happen there. And we're also going to have, I think, messages, font and style, damage animations, probably have some new damage animations, damage preview. There's like a long, I have a long list of all the UI things to do, and like I think this is the UI list of all the different screens that need updates. And this is just, I mean, just the game view is obviously where you spend most of your time, but it's probably not most of the work because there's a lot of screens to work on, but it's obviously the most important one. Did I note the undo panel? I did. Okay. Effect list. Cool, cool, cool. Hey, I made a different background. Check. Nice. All right. So what else? Yeah, I think that I was just thinking about like this approach. I think this is going to work. And the nice thing is that like villain panels are prefab, so we can just like, or panels are prefab, so we can set these sprites up once and then like configure them based on like where it is in the layout or whatever. What ones we're going to show, because we'll probably have like a sprite on each corner, and then we can like choose, is it the curve or is it the square or whatever. And if it's like if it's like at the edge of the screen, we don't want to show the thing. Lemmy Adams says, I guess when you're playing Sentinels of Multiverse and Earth Prime, vice versa, all the graphics for them with the app you're actually in. I'm not sure what you mean. Like the UI of the game, yes. But if you're looking at a Sentinels of the Multiverse card in Earth Prime, it will look like a Sentinels of the Multiverse card. If you're looking at an Earth Prime card in Multiverse, it looks like an Earth Prime card. That's how it works. You will never see, like right now, these small cards are not, we haven't made prefabs for them. You'll never see one of these cards like look like this. That's not going to happen. All right. So, what next then? I guess we could try to start putting this together. Let me see if I could make a graphic, or Jennifer could make a graphic. It would probably like whip together a little graphic that looks terrible, and then Jennifer can fix it, right? That's probably the case. So let's just do that. I guess before that, I can show you the little component that I made. Why not? Sentinels project. I do not want to update right now. Thank you very much. And yeah, this is it. It's just like a little mono behavior that you set the fields. You play a Sentinels hero in Earth Prime, their box are the rounded corners in different trash colors. Sure, yeah, the UI of the game will be Earth Prime. The cards will not. Yeah, so here, basically, like, you know, if the series that we're playing right now, which, you know, depending on the build, it's either Earth Prime or Multiverse. Those are the two series we have right now. If it matches the one that we specified, we're going to, you know, replace colors or sprites or whatever it is on all this. So thank you, Nightbot, for posting the link. Good job. So I'll just continue to be adding more things to this. Make field read only. Why does it want that? I feel like that's not going to work right. All right. So maybe it will. I don't know. Does Unity work that way? I don't usually haven't used the serialized field private thing a lot, so I'm trying it out for this because everyone says you're supposed to. I don't think it really matters a lot for what we do. All right, so, yeah, what are we doing here? So we're gonna look at setting up the character panel to support having the different corners of things. Do I have a prefab in here? Character panel, sometimes I do. We have character panel locations, but not character panel. All right. So if I grab that prefab, in this old version of Unity, you have to like put your prefab in the scene to edit it. Newer Unity is much more convenient. Character panel. All right, so this is, as you can see, has all the pieces of what you see there. Even like what battle zone you're in first. Second. And so we've got our widget, which so means you can click on them, which is needed in a few things, especially mobile. The HUD is the little area at the bottom with the different sprites and things. The character panel card area. I don't think do we actually put the cards in there? I think we don't. I don't think that actually gets used. Maybe it does. Render texture is for environment, for the environment image in the background. Actually used to be, it's called render texture because it used to actually render a 3D scene live. It doesn't do that anymore. The discard pile and the deck, a highlight panel that just like makes it highlight, as you can see. A title label for, I'm not sure why we have that, but maybe there's some reason for it. I assume there's some reason for it. And focus sprite in team villain mode if you like are focused in on a certain team villain. And then this is showing which team villain is going next, is this little indicator. Or which turn taker is going next, actually. The next turn indicator. So yeah, we want to make, I think at this level is where we want to put our border slash corners. So we can call it like, maybe we make a widget called Earth Prime Border. And it should fit the whole thing all the time. And are these set to enable typically? Or update, or on update. Okay. So the Earth Prime border thingy, and we can just like, actually we can say that it's off when we're on multiverse and on otherwise, but we're gonna have to connect to it because we're gonna have to change the color and stuff. So we'll probably access it in code anyways. so we'll just leave it on for now. So we're gonna want to create a, not UI, that's the new way, a sprite. And top, left. This is like the white corner, basically. I think I'm just trying to think if we're gonna have like, how are we tinting things? Because you can't tint it how I expect, I think is kind of the issue. So we want this to be comic frame atlas most likely. And we have these funny little things we could use if we wanted to temporarily. So put this, why is this strange shape? It's interesting. Put this up at the top left. And say it's like whatever the size is, like 20 by 20 or something. Probably 30 by minus 30. Something like that. We can see what sort of corner radius makes sense. So like that's gonna like be an actual graphic that's just like, it's gonna be mostly blank, but just white filling in the top left. And then we can actually have one sprite that we just like rotate a bunch. We can flip. And we can flip it. So we want that, and we want like the border image to be on top of that. So that's gonna be like this, literally this little corner here is gonna be just a white piece. And then the actual full border, we're gonna need different pieces. I'm trying to think of what we only need like one graphic, because if it's a straight line, it just needs to be a square that we stretch. But if it's the curve, then we need the curve to work. So we need like the corner curve, I think. Yeah, we just need one piece. I'm just trying to think what we want. What are the different, I guess we could look at all the different things. I think at each corner we're gonna want one of these curves, and on each side we're gonna want one of the straights. And then we just use some logic to decide which ones we draw and which ones we don't. Will probably make the most sense here. So we could have like I'm just thinking we could have like a little prefab or script for each corner. And that corner could contain like the white bit as well as the color bit and like the side that's like to its clockwise or something like that. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, or the side beats might want to be separate. Or we don't bother making a separate class for just this, but maybe we do, because we don't want to repeat ourselves so much. I don't know. I think it's not a huge deal. It's just a one-time thing. So we do that, and then these have like they have depth. So this wants to be like on top of everything. So this is like 10,005. So, or 100,005. This could be 100,006. This is 100,007. Depth in NGUI is a pain in the butt, by the way. And top left corner color is going to be basically in the same spot. It can be like the same thing, but it's going to be the image that draws that curve. So it's just like move it in a little bit so we can see it. I like do like that. So we can like test it by by doing this. Yeah, I kind of do want to have just like, it's gonna be so repetitive to not have a thing that contains both of these. This should be like inside of this and anchor to the other thing. I think that doesn't tint the stuff inside of it, does it? No. Okay. So like this one, if we tint it, we can see like this could, if this was the right graphic, it would look the way we want, and then we'd have another graphic that goes across the top. So let's just add that in as well. Create a sprite. It's like top border color, and use white square. Where did we go? We're over here. We're gonna be like this. And actually, we don't want to go all the way to the edge, or do we? Actually, don't want comic frame here because it's like got artifacts on this image. We want to use. We have a special atlas called white squares that just has little white squares in it. And they look nice and crisp always. Yeah, if this is like the red or whatever. We want it to be like 5 high or something. We'll figure out the values for that thickness of the line. So yeah, so I guess we're gonna want to either have this always go all the way across, or we could like change it to like connect to that or something. Because it's either, it's never like halfway on one. So either we have the square there or we don't. So like, if this is anchored to this left, and then we like shrink this to like here, we can like extend it. We could like do that. Say like if we shrink this over, then this becomes a hard corner. It's kind of a neat way to do it. We don't have to have extra sprites. We can do this by changing this to advanced and saying our left is based on the right of this. And then if we like move this, that one follows in. I think that works. So yeah, so when we want this to be a hard edge, we just shrink it to 0, 0. We just do this, shrink to 0, 0. That's kind of nice. I kind of like that. So if we like duplicate this and set this one, I think we just set up as like left border color. And yeah, it's actually going to be the left is based on this. The right is based on its left. The top is based on that. The bottom is actually going to be based on something else, but let's do this for now. And hook this top up to this top left corner to the bottom. Kind of nice. We got like a little machine here. These lines are hooked up to these corner things that can change size. And everything's color was going to get set. That's kind of the idea here. Let's apply this. See how it sort of looks in game a little bit right now. Everything's going to have these weird red and void circles all over it or whatever, but we'll see how it looks sort of scaled in the game. All right. That kind of looks right. We're gonna not, I guess we're gonna say if it's at the top of the screen, we just turn it off, right? Or if it's at the, basically we're gonna have these borders, but we can just turn them off if we're along the top or bottom edge or left or right edge. Yeah. Okay. So we kind of, I think we want to have an object for the character panel corner. That is this. Because we're going to want to say like, set your color and are you a corner or something, and then like it just knows what to do instead of having like a whole bunch of different variables that are very similar to each other. We could do a thing where like we just have an array of 4. Maybe we just do that. An array of 4 that just goes in clockwise, and you do it that way. Is that better? Maybe it's just an array of 4. Let's add, we add another one for the top right. Let's do this better. This one wants to be over here. And this one wants to be like aligned to just like move over like that. And then this top border color actually hooks up to this. Yeah. So we're building this sort of like little ball and string game. And if we replace these with the right graphics, it's gonna look good. So I'll be asking Jennifer to make a graphic that looks good for that. So, but then we can just like change these and adjust the sizes and it's gonna look fine. Let me move this so I can see it better. All right, so we got a bottom left. I guess it's like the, I should have copied the other one for bottom left, that'd be easier. Why do you zoom out all the way out when I double click? Sometimes. Yeah, this is gonna let us have full customization over the corners, which is nice. So this one is up here right now, but we want it to go, well, why too small for me to grab. There we go. Go to the bottom. Bottom. And this can be 0, 30. And this wants to be, I click in here and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. And we can copy the top right and call it bottom right. You go down here and hook up to the bottom. And this 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we have our things on the sides, and let's hook up our bottom border color. Yeah, I want these like top left, top right, bottom right, bottom left. We'll do like a counterclockwise from the top. So top, right, bottom, left will be the order. No, don't go in there. This one wants to be, this is bottom. So bottom, bottom, 0, 5. Good. And the left border color. Should be anchored to the right. -5 and 0. All right, so we have all our bits. Oh, we didn't hook up the anchors to those things yet. So bottom, right. Oh, right. The right one should hook up to the top, should be from the top right corner. And the bottom should be the bottom right corner. From the top. That looks right. This left one is not hooked up because we didn't have the bottom one yet. Hook up to the bottom left. And bottom one I think is actually hooked up to the top. Yeah. Which is not gonna work out right, is it? Just looks right now, but it's not actually. Bottom right. Cool. All right. Let's apply that to the prefab, save our changes. See how it looks. It's gonna look silly. But the goal is for it to be functional. Our depths are not right either for things, I think, but they're like sharing depths or whatever. But now we have all these crazy circles and stuff. That's fine. All right. So, but that means we can control what's going on. We can like make a better graphic for this now, maybe. So like, I'm not good at making graphics, but I'm okay at editing graphics. So if we grab the white square, maybe put these in white squares so they look good. Source images. Our white squares atlas is really small, so I don't really want to make it too big. The goal is for it to remain small. But there's some space in there for stuff, so. So, we have source images for these. Common, white square, rounded bottom, okay. Reveal in Finder. I kind of want like just the curve of that, right? These don't actually need to be separate images because we can flip and rotate and stuff. Call it white square, rounded. We want like the inverse, right? Corner. That's not what we want. Actually. Actually, I want like just the white square that is literally the white square, but white square itself can be really tiny. All right, let's put this in source images, other UI. Where those other ones were? Yeah. Let's call it white square. inverse corner. And let's make it a little bigger so we can like have a little better quality. Because we're like, the corner radius of this is like 30 or whatever, which is gonna like, yeah, we want it to be at least 64. And we want to like have this be the outside part. So I'm just gonna like make my really horrible one. And can I make, oh, I can make an elliptical selection. So actually I can sort of do this like this. I think that's basically what I want. But like actually a square. Can we make it actually a square? Yeah, okay. And like, no, but I want the reverse. I think there's probably a button to invert my selection here. This is just using preview, like the most basic thing. Jennifer could probably do this a lot quicker, but here I am. I want to, that crops. I want to like clear this part. Like if I make a new image of this, that's, I want like the reverse of this. I thought if I press Command K, it should, oh, it's cropping it to that. There's no function to reverse my selection, is there? Instant alpha? Whoa. Oh, interesting. Let's see like what it looks like. I guess I can like invert this. Maybe. If only I know what I'm doing, which I don't. My invert transparency. Negate the alpha channel and make all the pixels white. All right, let's see if we can try to use this thing. So save this as onto our desktop. Convert. What do we get? Perfect. All right. What did we call that image? We wanted it to be called like white squares inverse corner or something like that. Yeah. All right. Look at that lovely image. Put that in there. And we also want our like curved line, right? Corner. So oh right, we like change this. Yeah. Okay, here. Copy this again and make, it's not gonna match now because whatever. It's gonna make my colored image. Just want like an eraser. I guess I can draw a curved line and color it and then like clear everything else. Can I make a new... Can't really make a new image with preview. I can make clear line. Oh, but that doesn't like erase what's there. Yeah, I can't do those things. Yeah, I just want my curved line. Should ask Jennifer. I'm just gonna ask Jennifer. This is not really a good stream with me futzing around with graphics, is it? It's not my purview. I'm getting a phone call. I'm streaming. All right, we'll see if we get those, but we can at least put the corner one that I made, and then we can just have our red circle. Anyone enjoying my graphics design? This is why I'm not the graphics person. I'm sure I could like have Photoshop and do it, but I don't have that. Let's update our white squares atlas. What's the settings on this? Let's like clear the settings because Unity gets, not Unity really, and Unity gets testy when you update atlases and the texture settings aren't the default. White square, rounded bottom. Inverse. This. Let's add that. And back to our scene. So this is going to go to white squares atlas. Come on. The sprite is going to be this. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. We'll have to like tweak exactly what's going on with it. Then we can do the same thing for these. Set their atlas to white squares. And their sprite to the corner thing. And then we just like flip them around. So top right is flipped horizontally. Bottom right is flipped both. Bottom left is flipped vertically. Yeah, this might have to be adjusted to like have the like connector to the other thing, but these could like go like, you know, instead of being exactly on the right, they could be like -5 or whatever. We'll get that dialed in exactly. But you can imagine that this is actually a curved line here, right? I wonder if I can like borrow the curved line from that other graphic. I just want my circle. Do we have anything in comic frame that is like that? Rhombus glow? No. Highlight thin, sort of. These are like, yeah. Oh, this one. It's kind of a square, but if I like Character panel. It's kind of like it, right? Character panel corner. And I just like get rid of everything but that. So like I want this and this to go. No, I want to keep the stuff that I want like that. And we add that to white squares as well. Oh, but it's got black. All right. It's got black in it. No, wait, it's just not showing the alpha transparency. Yeah, okay. Let's just add that right now. I think it's gonna look better for my test here. It's not gonna be a curve, but it's gonna sort of be right. And these should be from white squares. Oh, did we not add that to the atlas? Did it not save? Oh, it's there. Oh, because there's a search going on in there. It's weird. It's weird that saved the search in the other context. All right, so we'll do this, and then we'll like flip these around again. Top right corner, flipped horizontally. Bottom right, flip both. So you can imagine that actually is a curve, right? And looks right. That's the idea. All right. We have our border basically set up. Now we just have to like control it. So we have to hook it up. Let's see how it sort of looks all together. Yeah, I mean, it looks terrible, but it's on the way. And we can say, like, yeah, we can put our logic in now, I think. So the character panel, does it know where it's going? That's a good question. So let's just see. There's stuff around like moving the character panels around. Yeah, this is like hero character panel is just, there's subclasses, but there doesn't really need to be. This has all of the things, it configures it and everything like that. But then we also like move them around on screen using some of this stuff. This is all related to cutouts. These are the graphics. Update panel to target. This is where we move the cutout to where it goes, or where the panel, because when we change like turns, we move them around, right? And so we want that to update the like corners of these things. So I think it makes sense to like make a class for like the border so that this file doesn't need to be any bigger, and we can just tell it to update the border based on what's going on. And I think this is the cutout depth. I just want to see what we're getting in this. The UI character panel location. tells us, is it the active hero location? Is it the main villain location? We have to add some stuff here that say like, what corner are you at, the corner of the screen and stuff like that, because we want to, you know, make sure that if things are at the corners of the screen, then I don't think we have that right now. That's the layout. Our location is part of the layout, I believe. Let's take a look, actually. Yeah, I think if we look at the hero layout is here. I mean, it's a hero turn, but it has, this is a character panel location. So this is going to need to, I think, have a property that says, like, is it at a corner? I think, because what we care about here is if we're at the edge, I guess if we're at the edge of the screen. So like, what edges of the screen are we at? And if we can update the corners of things and the visibility of the border and stuff based on that. So like, you could be at any two edges of the screen, basically. So we could have just like two things, which is like edge 1, edge 2, I guess. Or we could say, I don't know if you can do like a mask. Like, I guess we could have a list of edges and then do that way. Or like an array of booleans to indicate what edges you're at using the same sort of clockwise thing. That could work. That could maybe match up nicely with the other thing that we're doing. Yeah. So let's make a script here. And character panels. Yeah, that makes sense. So we'll create this and we'll call it UI character panel border. And we'll give it the namespace and all that. And so we want it to have these are going to be, what we care about is turning on and off things, and actually it's changing the size of things. So corner widgets. And we also want side widgets. Top, right, bottom, left, I think we were probably gonna do. And then we can like take a update borders with an array of Boolean, which is like screen edges. So like for each one, our side widgets can be exactly based on like if we're at the edge of the screen, we're turned off, and if we're not, we're turned on. So side widgets. I guess we can do like ngui tools .set active or whatever. guess at screen edges makes sense. And it's like if we're not at the screen edge, we turn it on. So let's try this just to get the edges, and then we can do the corner part. We need to hook this up, and we're also going to have to hook up like a Boolean thing for the edges here. So on the character panel, we can add, I think we add this component into here. Just compiling. All right, so for our corner widgets, we have 4, and side widgets we have 4. I guess we can just set the color. We're gonna have to also have an array of the other thingy dingies. We're only worried about the side right now, so let's just set that. Top, right, bottom, left, like that prefab. And we also want, that's not going to do anything right now because nothing's calling it. We need the character panel to know about it. Yeah, these are all public. We're trying the serialized field thing. We can't really change old ones, so it's kind of annoying. Serialized field. Private character panel. Border. And I think our configure with turn taker, I think it's when we go update panel to target is when we're actually setting it there. So we'll probably do something with the animation, but right now we can just like, this class needs to have like the public, because I want this to be public. I want to be able to access it on the other thing. Public bool at screen edges. And then when we go in here, in update panel to target, we can just throw it at the end for now. Update border. If our border is not null, border.update borders, location, panel location, dot borders. Is that not? Did I not? Screen edges. Yeah. So now we're actually going to call it. So these things are going to... We probably want to just have a quick check here, like if we actually have the right length of this thing. Again, otherwise we'll get a bunch of errors before we set it up. Right now it shouldn't do anything, but we can go and update things. So the layout we're looking at, I think we can basically set for all, we know sort of in each layout where things are. We could like look at where things are on the screen and blah, 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 but like it's easy to just like set this. Like the villain area is a prefab that is reused. If there's an active hero area, it's always at the left edge of the screen. We can always, it's at the bottom left. So we can say this, that it's yes, this is top, right, bottom, left. Boop, boop. So, and the environment area is always, I guess not in Oblivion mode. We can at least like try this with the active hero area and we'll see that it should do something here, I think. But for the other layouts, we're going to need to like customize each one to indicate where things are, I think. All right, so we see actually it turned off the... Did it turn off the border at the bottom? It didn't turn it off at the left. Let's see. Our active hero area does have that. And our hero panel Captain Thunder has the border. And nothing got turned off. Oh, because we didn't actually hook up the border thing in the prefab, that's why. And we actually put a null check and it actually worked. Border. That's why. No, you hook. Oh, do we not? We did put that. Go in there. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. All right. Border. Okay. Sometimes updating a long-standing product for things like this can be a little tricky. Oh, Jennifer, answer me back. Hey, it worked. So we turned off those. And so we don't have a border along the edge here. That's great. So let's get the other panels. The environment area is almost always on the... We'll just set like the default. Does not have a... Does this not have that thing on it? I think it might not. Environment area. Where's the environment one? It's under this thing called environment anchor. Okay, so it's inside it for some reason. This one is normally at the top right, but sometimes it's also at the bottom if it's the environment turn. Or, yeah, that's right. So top all the time, right all the time, and usually not bottom or left. And inactive hero area 3, these are like for 3 heroes, 4 heroes, 5 heroes. The hero areas are always like at the top left, right? So these are always, and they have another thing. Do they have? Oh, they have, I see. The leftmost one is at the left, or sorry, at the top and the left. This one is at the top. Actually, no, but they're not at the top of the screen, right? They're going to be here. We do want them to actually have the border. So actually scratch that, not top. And so, yeah, none of the above. If there's 4 heroes, let's just give them all an array. But only the left one is at the left. Same thing with 5 heroes. In a more modern UI system, we would have done this differently, but this was what we had to do when we first made it. Did I make it have 5? Why did I make it have 5? Because I was saying 5 in my head. Okay. Inactive hero area, large 3. What is that? Well, it doesn't really matter because I'm just gonna... Oh, these are villain character panel location 1. Is this for team villains? All right. Inactive villain area with... Yeah, this is also for villains. Okay. Oblivion, we won't worry about right now. The villain area is sometimes left, sometimes the right. So we'll just say don't put anything here. I guess it's always at the bottom, right? So top, right, bottom. It's always at the bottom. So let's just see what we get here just with those sort of always settings. We should get the environment looking right, but won't be right in the environment turn and so on like that, but we can make these tweaks. As long as we have the support for it, we can like set the data pretty easily by like updating these things. But yeah, so we see the villain doesn't have at the bottom here, but sometimes the villain's over here, right? When it's the environment turn or like on the villain turn, whatever. So let's make that adjustment. We see that the environment doesn't have the top or right borders, which is what we want. So we've been looking at the hero layout 5-player, right? I think. How many? Let's see. Just like we'll edit this particular one. We might be able to multi-select and edit a bunch at once because hero turn layouts are consistent, right? Yeah, we are looking at 5 heroes. So, but we can like open all of these and say the villain area on the hero turn always is at the right. And the active hero area, I mean, we already have this, right? Is at the bottom left. But the environment area, and the environment area is also correct, right? So it's like, is that everything for the hero turn? Did we miss one? Let's take a look. Let's do the corners next, because I want those to look good. They're not going to look good, but they're going to show up right. So yeah, the villain doesn't have a border on that side. The environment doesn't have a border on the top. These have borders all around. Yeah, I think we got the borders right in terms of like what's showing up and what's not showing up. But we got to get the corners hooked up. So that's looking pretty good functionality-wise. So we were saying that basically if we're at, so the first one is at the top. If we're at the top of the screen, we don't want to show the corner of either of those. Right. So I think we want to do like a little switch statement here, maybe. So like, if we're turn off top left and top right corners, right? Like that's always going to be the case. If we're at the top, we turn off both of those corners. And we can do like a little private enable corner. Can we tell the size? Anchor. We want to like set the anchor to 0. Can we do that? An anchor to another object. Yeah, actually, we don't really have a great way to set the width or height. We can only... We can set the width. But that's gonna, like, not work right, because the anchor is just gonna set it back. I don't think that this supports, like, if it turns off to, like, have it... If we turn this off, it doesn't do anything. We could have it be, like, advanced and not anchor the size. We could do that. Like if we go advanced and don't anchor the right and bottom, then we can, like, when we change the size, I think that's probably the best way to go. And this is hooked up to it to that. Yeah, so that's good. All right, so these we have to like individually do them. So advanced. This is the top right, so we get rid of the left and the bottom. And bottom right, we get rid of the top. Just the ones that have numbers here, I guess. And bottom left, we get rid of the, oh, I definitely didn't want to do that. Get rid of the, where are we at? Bottom left. Yeah, get rid of the right and top. All right, yeah, I think that does the trick. And we have to connect them to our thing. So top left, top right, bottom right, bottom left. All right, and in this, we want to actually send a Boolean. Is on. Oh, caps lock somehow went on. Widget dot set dot width. Yeah. And we can do like a private int corner size. Widget dot width is corner size. Widget height is corner size. Else widget width is 0. Widget height is 0. Cool. And we could even like simplify this by going yeah, it's better. And we can say enable corner. We just do like index, I guess, here. So top left is 0. And top, just like basically this. And the first thing we do is like enable all the corners, and then we can turn off the ones that we don't want. Basically. We could probably not do this, but it's just as easy. If we are at the right side of the screen, turn off the top right and bottom left corners. Sensing a theme that it's like I and I plus 1 here, but let's just like go through it and then we'll revise. Bottom right, sorry, we're at the bottom. We turn off the bottom left and bottom right. Yeah, I think we're just going around the circle here, right? This is 2 and 3. And then the other is 3 and 4, but 4 is 0. So and actually here we're not actually checking to see if the thing is on. So if we're at screen edges, turn off the corners at that edge. So enable corners, enable corner I, false, and I plus 1%4. I think we have to put brackets here. Percent is the mod operator. So it will, if it's 4, it will go back to 0. All right, so this should do what we want. I think we hooked everything up. We didn't set corner size. We got to go update that to 30 or whatever number we can tweak pretty easily. All right, let's see. Did my code do the right thing, or am I a fool? Oh, that's a lot bigger than 30, but it looks like it's doing not everything, right? Is it? The border went off at the top. So actually, it's because this is so huge that something went wrong here, I think. So let's find out what happened here. Yeah, what? Why is that so enormous? Let's look at the environment panel. What's going on here? It's like it almost worked right, but it's not quite right. Top left, top right, bottom left. So the top left corner is 320 by 102. Top right corner. Why are these such strange sizes? That's not what I wanted. We turned off the top and the right borders, but these are like wacky sizes. It's like going up there. This is like going up here. What? What? Because these are empty and things are freaked out. Might be because of the like animation or like code. I'm not sure. That's... What if I like don't do this? Just to like... see what happens. Like maybe something's going wrong to begin with. All right, yeah, something is going wrong to begin with when I change those anchors. What if I change these to on update? Are they, or on enable? I think they should be on update because the thing can like change size and stuff, but maybe it, let's see. Let's just change the top left corner, which should fix, if that fixes it, it fixes the villain one. That's the only one that, I guess they're all on right now. They're not getting turned off. No, it's still super wacky. Okay, so it's unhappy about turning those off. So let's change these back to unified because we have to do something else because that not being... Oh, now these went to none. Unified, oh, because this was inactive, I see. All right, if we put back to unified, are we happy now? I should probably be like committing or something. That would be smart. Messing around a lot. All right, we're back to looking fine. The thing is, I don't want to have to like tell it which corner to worry about whenever I call this thing, right? Widget dot border. No. I guess we have to like say like if it's this and that and this and that. All right, so we can do like if index is 0, top left, then widget dot left anchor dot absolute. It's actually the right anchor at the top left, right? I guess if it's at the left, that means it's index of 0 or index equals 3. So then we should like, yeah, let's just do the 2 cases for the top left here. If index is 0 or index is 1, it's the top left side. Top side. So the bottom anchor, that absolute is that. I don't know if we have to like call the update anchors or whatever after doing that when they're on update anyway, so we'll see. Let's just try it. Then we'll do the other 2 sides. If the top left looks okay here. Hey. So that didn't move over. That might not be set right. We'll take a look, but that's basically what we want here. So we want now the right side. So if we are 1 or 2, the left anchor should be set. And if we're 2 or 3, we're on the bottom. Widget.update anchors, I think we want to call. Yeah, we manually updated them, so I think it's usually good to call that. All right, I think this is looking good, except we aren't like, these are not right, but we're getting like the corner properly there, but we're gonna want to like, I guess we have this whole thing where like we want the curve thing or whatever, but we're mostly just turning it off and on now or whatever, as opposed to we're turning it off and on versus showing the thing. So this one is not hooked up at the top left. The top edge is not hooked up right. Let's see. The left should be going to the top left corner. So why is it not? See what happens in the game here. Maybe it's not. Maybe it needs update needs to be called on it. Argo But this should be, yeah, that should be there. This left one is it's turning off with the left one, which is actually wrong. The left border is there. Why is... Yeah, this is... changing size. But the anchor doesn't say that. What? Why is that changing size? What is happening? I must have screwed up the logic somewhere. I mean, let's see if we don't do this, everything should be just like it was, right? In theory. Because we're just like setting them to where they already should be. But no, it's wrong. Is that because I'm calling update anchors? Or... like, obviously if I do this, make sure everything is fine and not getting screwed up for something else I did. Quick sanity check. Turn off my code. Make sure everything is fine. Maybe I'll commit this just to be like work in progress because I'm messing around too much. Yeah, so everything is on now. That's fine. All right, let me just commit this because we've done a bunch. Yeah, basically everything except this. Working on support for Earth Prime. Character, whatever. Character panel borders. At least we have that committed, so we're not worried about messing things up and not being able to revert. So this should literally do nothing. That's the thing. Because is on is true, so we're always setting corner side. We're not like, yeah, we want to call reset and update anchors. I guess, I don't know. I know ngui is mysterious sometimes. Guess we usually call that one. This could be again due to some of the animation code potentially interfering with what's going on. Yeah, again, like, what is happening here? The villain panel top left is like getting funky. The bottom left is fine. I mean, I think so. 30 by 30. Looks all fine. But the top left is going to 30 by 2. And like, if I fiddle these, like, how is that happening when like if If I turn it off and on, like it stays at 30 by 2. That doesn't make any sense. Snap? No. I don't want to snap. Why is it going there when it's like supposed to be hooked up to this? Like this is that whole size. This is an anchor that's going left 0, right 30, bottom 30, top 0. Oh, it should be minus 30. That's why. Okay. Stupid signed stuff. So this should be at the left side. The right anchor should be, sorry, at the, yeah, the top side should be minus size. And the right should be minus size. That's why. I'm used to it. In Unity, you don't have to, in the Unity UI, you don't have to with the sign. If you have the pivot and the anchor set right, it's just like pixels from there in the direction you expect. And NGUI assigns it. That's what's going on. Could have fooled me. It's like that 30 looks right. Okay, things are in the right place again. And let's restore our code to turn the corners off. Nope. Don't know what I did there. Turn the corners off properly now. All right, so now we have those corners looking great. And it turns out that we don't actually ever have a corner in the bottom right and top left. Which I didn't really realize or think about. I was just like doing the logic more generically. But bottom right and top left don't ever have a corner. So we don't actually have to worry about that. Because then these are always going to be, yeah, so that's interesting. So what we can actually do is just like turn them off for now. So top left and bottom right never have a thing. And this always goes to the full left. I guess we could just say that they're also 0. And this is 0. And we actually just like delete them from this. And then we do a null check. So we still have our like logic for like the I and everything like that. I think that's going to be fine. We just do a null check here. Then we always, and then that's easy for us if we want to like change how we're doing the corners, like we can play around with this logic and stuff. So gives us some flexibility, I guess, turns out. All right, Jennifer sent me some images. Let me download them and try to put them in. Maybe that's just what we need for the end of the stream here. Download this. Download this. Hey, look, we have our thingies with like top right and bottom left rounded. I mean, rounded in my own strange way. And when he's over there, it isn't, and that's rounded there. That's looking great. All right. We didn't color them yet, but we'll get there at some point. Let's grab these images that Jennifer made for me. Let's update these. So we called this character panel corner. I'm just gonna update this. And the other one I called white square, reverse corner, inverse corner, sure. It's gonna be more annoying to like rename them at this point. Doesn't actually matter what they're named, but it is convenient when you're hunting for something sometimes. And corner. That and that update. See how it looks. No, better. I think we'll need to like adjust it, but you can see like the idea is there, right? So we'll just iterate exactly on how it goes. We're getting like a little like artifact there, but I think that's just due to the texture settings or whatever. Let's update these to be not bitmaps. Alpha is transparency. And yeah, I think I just like, it's just like a scaling issue going on here with this corner. Are these? Yeah, these are set to simple. If I set them to sliced, are they gonna look better? No? Why are they looking all fadey? I wonder if the settings, the texture settings of that may have gotten screwed up. No? It's not compressed. I always have these issues with the white squares atlas. Sometimes things are getting fadey. If I compress it, it gets worse usually. Now it just like went away. No compression. All right, now it's just being mean. Yeah, I don't know why we're getting that artifact on the line. Doesn't probably matter. I mean, it matters because it looks bad at the corner. Because it's getting stretched out so far, maybe. I wonder if I like set it to tile. And you get like this weird like edge. But then if we like change the white squares sprite and say we have padding, does it get rid of that? No. Let's say we have border. No, that doesn't help. -1? No. I don't want tile. That doesn't work. Simple shouldn't be adding this, like, stupid fade. Why does it do that? I don't like it. Not supposed to do that. It's bothering me. Anyways, this piece, right, we had it like offset because of reasons. But if we change it to fit exactly, then we can just make the images work with each other, is the goal. We'll just adjust the like size of them or whatever. To match the thickness, that'll just be some adjustments of the images. Why are these being all gradienty at the edge? I guess, yeah, no, I don't like it. It's like we run into this problem before, and maybe it doesn't look bad when you actually build the game, but it looks bad here. All right, let's apply this, and I think that's gonna do it for today because it's 2 hours into the stream here, but we've accomplished getting our borders to basically where we want. They still haven't got the right color, and there still needs a bit of visual polish on the line size and stuff like that, but I'm pretty pleased with where we got here. Yeah, so we've got this idea of we can actually go to the villain turn here, actually. Let's have it go to the villain turn, set my config. Which I don't think actually set the corner boxes right. So let's just go here again. We're basically telling it like, where's the box at the edge? Is the box at the edge of the screen or whatever? And that's going to tell it where to draw things. I guess we can do the villain turn. Let's do that quickly. Set the settings for that. You can see we got like the line coming and the curve there, but on the top left there's no corner, and so on. So you get this kind of like cool aesthetic. I think it's pretty cool. And we'll change the colors to match the like turn taker type. So let's change this to go to the villain turn. Go to Argo's phase, and he's gonna like play a card and stuff. We'll just go to like his play card, so he just does his like end of turn damage or whatever. Maybe we get to make a decision and hit meanwhile. I'm not sure. Let's pause. So you see, actually we got the villain one's looking good. No, the villain's, he's got a border on the left, so we have to fix that. The environment's good, but these guys, yeah, we need to like indicate that here, that's at the edge, and that's at the edge, and that's at the edge. So let's do that. So we're looking at the villain layout. And so for all the villain layouts, the villain is always at the left. So top, right, bottom, left. And the heroes are different. It's different based on the number of heroes. So that's something we're gonna have to adjust. Can we see where things are here? And we can just like set them. Oh, it's because it's turned off. Right, okay. So here, they're all at the bottom for the 3-player one. So, oh right, the villain, right, this is inactive hero character, inactive hero area large 3, large for large 5. Okay, so we can actually edit that prefab then. Let's do that. Inactive hero area large 3. They're all at the bottom. So this has 4. and top, right, bottom, and the third one is at the right. And for 4 heroes, it's like a square. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all different. 1 is next to the screen edge. 2 is next to the right. 3 is next to the bottom. Top. All right, I clicked that wrong. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Top, right, bottom. And number 4 is bottom, right, and bottom. And then for 5 heroes, how are they turned? How are they set again? Let's have a look. Yeah, so number 2 is at the right. And all these are at the bottom. And the last one is also at the right. All right, that's our inactive heroes. Then we have team villains or whatever, but let's go with that. So we should see the right corner setup, and we'll like test all the different variations and make sure we didn't miss anything. But this should get us to the villain turn looking like the diagram here. But actually, that one didn't go right. These are showing up. Oh yeah, it's showing the bottom on those. Did I screw that up? I must have screwed it up. This looks fine. That looks fine. But these bottom 3 aren't fine. So inactive area large. Number 3 should be top, right. Oh, bottom is here. That's left. Okay. I did screw that up. All right. Doot doot. And this should have those 2. All right, let's try that again. It might have been easier to have the properties that said the side names instead of an array. Turns out. But it's all right. It's not too terrible. It's pretty common in Unity to have that sort of like clockwise direction thing. All right, I think actually that looks... Oh, I paused it and then I have to meanwhile. So this is... Yeah, we'll go to a 4 hero layout as well. This is looking right. They aren't going all the way to the bottom, so we're probably gonna have to make an adjustment to make those panels go all the way to the bottom, which they're not. They should be in the regular game also. So maybe we'll make that adjustment that they should go all the way to the bottom. Let's set 4 heroes here and have a look just so we can look against our example from earlier. So go with 6 turn takers. And we'll see what we get. All right, so that looks like what we want. We compare it to our thing. We've got the box looking right there, looking there, that box, that box, that box, and that box. And this does go all the way to the bottom. So it's only actually 5 heroes. They don't go all the way to the bottom, hey? That's interesting. 5 hero villain turn doesn't go to the bottom of the screen. I'm curious if 3 heroes do, because this is just a mix-up on that layout. I think they were supposed to go to the bottom of the screen. Let's get rid of Johnny Rocket, just temporarily. Sorry, Johnny. Take a look at 3 heroes here, because I'm curious if this is also going to do that. That's just on 5 heroes. And then we can fix, and that will improve things for 3 heroes also doesn't go to the bottom, but 4 does. So we'll fix those. And we can look at our boxes here, which we definitely screwed up for 3 heroes. Let's just fix that, and then we'll call it a stream. So 1 and 2 look right, but 3 is, yeah, top right, bottom left. Yeah, that's it. I'll get there. I should call this variable TRBL. Yeah, the white squares is like all screwed up now, and you see like there's big shadows on everything. That's what, there's something's coming from that. So that's something that I need to revert something or whatever to figure that out. We'll get that sorted out, because that's affecting a lot of stuff, because that white square gets used for like all these dimming panels and stuff, and so it's not supposed to have like a weird edge like that. But yeah, that's some work on the game view layout primarily for Earth Prime. Yeah, I guess this is scrolling over the edge, so we're gonna like make some adjustments there probably as well to like make it so that cuts off sooner. Which actually I think if we like hop in here and just change the softness of this, we can like do this and say, yeah, I don't know, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out the clipping there. So yeah, good stuff, but I think that is a good direction for that. And it looks nice, and obviously doesn't look great yet, but it's gonna look good. We'll make it look just like you see in the pictures. But that is going to be it for the stream today. Let's have a look at the Kickstarter, see how we're doing. We have 69 hours to go in the Kickstarter, and we are creeping towards the 30,000 stretch goal. So if you want some more variants in Sentinels of Earth Prime, go and check it out. Visit the Kickstarter and help us out, because there's a lot of art that needs to be made for variants. And yeah, that's gonna do it. Have a great Friday and a great weekend. We'll see you on the flip side. Bye for now.
Sentinels of Earth Prime is an all-new standalone game set in the world of the critically acclaimed Mutants and Masterminds role-playing game, and built on the rules of Sentinels of the Multiverse. Play as